Hi everyone, and welcome to this video, Introduction to Qualitative Research with Maxqda. So first of all, what is Maxqda? Maxqda is a software for qualitative analysis and mixed method research. It's really comprehensive and can be used for a lot of different kinds of research projects. And it's also very intuitive and very convenient to use. Honestly, it's one of my favorite analysis softwares, and I think it's the one I use the most myself. It can support many types and formats of data. So it means you can work with interviews, with press and news, audio files, video files, with web pages, feed notes, literature references, and even with tweets, survey results, and so on. And you can also use it with a lot of different methods, such as content analysis, case studies, mixed methods, meaning the methods combining qualitative and quantitative analysis, literature reviews, grounded theory, and so on. Another advantage is that it's exactly the same software and the same interface for Mac and Windows, and to my knowledge, it's the only software of this kind to do this. So what I'm showing you here is on the Mac, but you should have the exact same thing if you are working with Windows. Just a small thing here. This type of software at the beginning, it was designed as a computerized application of qualitative analysis on paper and with manual tools. So I'm talking about the kind of analysis where you would code text printed on sheets of paper using marker pens and different colors and post-it notes. And you would have scissors, boxes, or envelopes with topics to classify and analyze the pieces of paper from your text. So it started as a computerized application of this. But since then, these software programs, they have changed and grown a lot, and they have become tools with really great potential for all the other steps and parts of the research. So obviously we won't be able to see everything in this video, but they can really help you for different steps of your research. So to collect your data and your documents and to organize them, to analyze them, of course, and finally to present them. So in the rest of the video, we are going to start by discovering Maxqda's interface. Then I will show you how to create a project and import documents in this project. Then we'll see how to explore and code these documents. And at the end, we are going to see how to find extracts from the coded documents to analyze those extracts. So we are going to start with Maxqda's interface. So let's start with the opening page. So the first time you're going to launch Maxqda, you will need to provide a username here. It can be your full name or something else, it doesn't really matter, but it's important when you are working with other people or in a team. Then you're going to open or create a project. So an important point to begin with is that Maxqda worked with projects, with project files more exactly. A project file is a single file that saves everything related to your research project at the same place on your computer. So your documents, your codes, your annotations, everything is going to be saved together in a single file. So now there are 3 ways to launch projects. You can create a new project here, and you can open an existing project here. And the recently used projects are going to be displayed here just below. And finally, you can use an example project here. So I'm going to open the English one just to show you the interface of the software. And this is it. So Maxqda's interface is made up of 4 windows, and these windows actually are 4 different workspaces with different functions, and they are built to complete different tasks. So the first one here is called the document system. It's where all your documents and data are going to be stored and organized. So it means that everything you are going to import is going to be listed and organized here. The interviews, the images, the audio and video files, and so on. So to better understand, let's imagine for a minute a handmade version of your project, like a not computer-assisted version. So with printed documents and pens and marker pens and scissors. So this window would be like a binder or a shelf where you would store and organize your data. The second window now here is the document browser. This is where you can open, read, code, and annotate your documents. So think of this as the space on your desktop where you would open your documents to work on them. The third window here is the code system. It's a list of your codes, a tree-like list, as you can see. And this is like the box of marker pens and the chart where you would have assigned each marker color to a theme. And the fourth window now is the retrieve segment window, which is empty. Let me just add something here. So this is the retrieve segments window. It shows the documents extracts that have been assigned to specific codes. So this would be like a box or a cardboard box in which you would store and organize the pieces of paper from your text after highlighting and cutting them off. So now to use and handle these four windows. You see the four icons here in the Home tab. These icons. Each one stands for one of the windows. So you can click on them to display or hide the corresponding window, like this. When they are gray, it means they are activated and the window is displayed. And when they are white, they are not activated. There is also different layout options here. This is the one I'm using right now, which is my favorite, and I think it's the most intuitive to use. But you can also move the document and codes to the right, like this, or have columns, like this. So just try it and see which one works the best for you. You can also change the size of the window by dragging the gray bar, like this. And you can fully expand a window when you have to work with only one of the windows, like this. You can also undock a window, which is very useful if you are working with a second screen. And you can do searches in each window independently with the magnifying glass icon here. And if you close a window on purpose or by mistake, to reopen it, just go to the Home tab and click on the corresponding icon. Another interesting feature in the Home tab up here is the logbook here. In here you can take notes about your projects. So you see there is a little calendar here. If you click on it, it's going to add a timestamp, and it's sorted with the most recent at the top. And if you add a new one, like this. So I just want to mention here that the help system in Maxqda is very good. Just drag your mouse over something like this, and it's likely that the description of the function will just pop up. So if you want to know what it's for, so you just have to drag your mouse over something. And the eye icon, this one, is pretty much everywhere in Maxqda, and it's a link to the corresponding feature in the English user manual online. In the top right corner here, you have the undo and redo functions, and you have the settings of the software. So we can't see everything in detail in this video, but you can see that there is a number of tabs with tools for importing, for coding, for analysis, visualizations, reports, and so on. Just the last two tabs here, Stats and Maxqda, are only in Maxqda Plus for the dictionary tool and in Maxqda Analytics Pro for the advanced statistical tools. So now that we've seen Maxqda's interface, let's see how to create a project and how to import documents. So to create the project, you can either go back to the first screen that we've seen, or you can create it from here in the Home tab, New Project. So this is it. This is an empty project. There are three ways to import documents in your new project. The first one is from the Imports tab up here. We are going to talk about this later. The second one is from the Document System window here. So in the toolbar, so here they are. And the third one is still from the Document System window, but from the context menu of a folder. So you create a folder. And then with the right click, import documents. Here. So this is the best option if your documents are already organized on your computer. Just be careful to select the right folder because, well, even when using the other options, because Maxqda is going to import the documents in the selected folder, which is the one highlighted in green. If your documents are not in the right folder, or if the folder was created after importing them, like my first documents, you can move the documents later, or either one by one or as a group by pressing the Shift key on your keyboard. So here. And I can select all of those and drag them in my new folder. You can import almost any kind of documents into Maxqda. Here we've just seen text documents, but you have tools to import many different types of documents. You can see PDF files, text and tables, and also images, audio and video files. It can also be transcription files from interviews or focus group files, and they can be from different softwares, as you can see. You can also import data from Twitter, from SurveyMonkey, from YouTube. There is a web clipper to collect data from the internet, and also some tools for importing structured data as text or as tables. You can also import data from your bibliographic management software, like Zotero and Note, Mendeley, and so on. And you can also create an empty text document and copy and paste whatever you want in it. So now that we have imported and organized some documents, we are going to see how to open them, read them, add annotations, and of course how to code these documents. For that, I'm going to close the empty project and to reopen the first one that we've seen earlier. It's going to be easier to show you and also easier for you to understand. So opening an existing project. So that's it. To open a document, just double-click on it on the document system. It's going to be displayed in the document browser here, and the corresponding icon in the document system is going to be displayed with a pencil, so you can see which one is open. So let's see the document browser window now, here. So this is the code bar, where your codes are going to be displayed, and also your memos and annotations. Okay, this one doesn't have any memos. Here. So this is a memo. You can take notes when you start reading your documents using these memos, which are like post-it notes or sticky notes. See, this is a memo window. You can see that there are a lot of options. You can choose an icon. You can assign a label to different types of icon, and you can format the text and so on. You can basically create memos anywhere you like in your documents, just by highlighting some text, like this, and in the context menu with a right click, insert memo for selection. Or you can just double click in the window column, in the memo column here, and it's going to create a new memo. And you can also create memos for documents. So it would be like one big memo that you can stick on the front page of your document. And those are called document memos. So for example, see, that's the main memo for the document Max here. And to create one, just right click or double click here. And it works the same way for a code with code memos. So now to open these memos. In the document browser here, they are on the left, as we've seen, or in the right column that you can activate here. And the memos are also in the list of documents and in the list of code. Like if you use the context menu of a document, you can see here overviews, memos. And finally, all memos are all in the memo tab up here. An important thing about documents, about text documents in Maxqda is that there is an editing mode here. It's to avoid accidental modifications to your documents while handling or coding them. Like you may highlight a part of a document and hit the delete key by mistake. So the documents are in a read-only mode unless the edit mode is activated. So if you see a typo or a spelling mistake, just activate it here, fix it, and then don't forget to deactivate the edit mode. For text documents, you can also select paragraphs with one click on the paragraph number, like this. So it's useful to code or to annotate a whole paragraph in only one click. And if you like, you can also activate the lines number here in the menu with a right click instead of the paragraphs, and you can go back to the paragraphs if you change your mind. So what else in this window? Yeah, you can also do searches in here with this icon. See, it opens a toolbar. And maybe one last thing before showing you how to code. It's the highlighting tool here. This is an interesting tool for when you're starting to work and having a first look at your documents. It's pretty much like a marker pen. For example, you know that an extract is going to be important for your analysis, but you don't have a coding grid yet, or you want to come back to it later for some reason. So you can just highlight it and come back to it when you're ready to, like this. See, it's been highlighted and added here to the code system. Well, now we're going to see how to code these documents. So what is a code? A code is a keyword or a label used to identify and categorize the content of your documents. Codes are actually one of the key functions, or maybe the key function of Maxqda. So coding is basically when you select an extract from a document in the browser here and assign it a code from your code list here. So all the codes you are going to create are going to be in this window called Code System. And like documents, you can organize and sort your codes just by dragging them around. So if you already know the topics for your analysis, like the categories which are going to be in your code list, you can just start creating your codes from this window. So to create a code, it's this icon here. The new code window opens, and you can choose the name of your code, of course. You can choose a color, and you can even add a description, which is going to be saved as a memo for the code. And as you are going to see, the code is going to be created as a subcode for the selected code. So here it's going to be a subcode of positive. Here. And now you can drag it around and change like this. And you can also create codes directly at the location you want in your code list with that green cross. And to delete the code, it's the red cross here. But in any case, like nothing is permanent here. You can rename your codes, you can reorganize them, you can delete some of your codes, group them whenever you want during your research. So now let's see how to code your documents. So you just open a document like this, select an extract by highlighting it, and you drag it on the code you want to assign to it. Like this. And that's it. So the code is displayed here in the code bar, and the document extract is added here in the counting of segments. So if you make a mistake or if you change your mind, you can also cancel the coding with this icon here. See? Well, what I've just shown you is only one of the many ways to code in Maxqda. And there are many others, and obviously we can't possibly see all of them in this short video. But I will try to give you at least a preview of most of them. Like in the bar up here, there are a few other coding tools. Here, there is the highlighter that we've seen. You have the emoticons. You can code with emoticons. And here you can code the selected highlighted segments with one of the last code that have been used, which are in the drop-down list here. With this option, you can code with a new code. So if you click on it, it's going to open the new code window. And with this one, it's an in vivo code. It means that the content of the extract, like its text, like this, it's going to be the name of your code. See? This is my code. And there are also a few other options like keyboard shortcuts, favorite codes, and so on. just one last option here, which can be really interesting when you start coding. It's this one. It's the Open Coding tool. When you click on it, the Open Coding tool is activated. It turns gray. And this option here means that when you select text and release the mouse, it's going to automatically open a new code window, like this. See if I start again with another extract, like this. Yeah, and don't forget to deactivate it when you're done. One last little tip maybe about coding. If you want to enlarge the coded area, so to code more text, like the sentence before or after, you can just click once in the code of the segment, here. And what it's going to do is to display the code here as the last one used. So then you select the new area you want to code, like this, and you click Code With here. And that's your new coded area. So now that we know how to code the documents, we're going to see how to find the coded text segments. So to find these coded extracts from your document, it works with the activation system. So searches in Maxqda work by activating the documents and codes. It means that the software is going to look for the codes you activate in the code system here, in the documents you activate in the document system here, and to list the search results in the Retrieve Segments window, which is here. So for example, if I want to do a coding search to find out what was said in some of the interviews about a specific topic, I just have to select the interviews, so to activate them, by clicking on the document icon or on the small dot in front of it. And or maybe in the folder icon if I want to select the whole folder, like this. So and now I select the codes by doing the same thing, like this. And you see when a code or a document is activated, it's displayed in red with a little arrow in front of it. To deactivate your documents and code and you do a new search, you just do the same thing again. So you click on the folder or on the little round here. And you can also deactivate everything at the same time and reset the whole search here for the codes. See Reset Activations here for the documents. And if you want to reset the whole thing in one click, it's in Analysis, Reset Activations. Some important details about code activations. If you click on a code, it's going to activate the code and the subcodes, like this. But if you use the context menu, then you have the choice to activate only this code or this code with the subcodes. So I'm going to search for all the extracts from the New York interviews here on the theme career here. So all the text extracts that are found in these documents coded with this code are displayed here in the Retrieve Segment window. So let's have a look at the results in this window now. The coded text extracts are all here, and you can sort them out here in the setting options. And you can search for a word in your results with the magnifying glass tool here. And you can also display more or less information about the coded extracts by displaying the source. So if you click on the first icon here, it's going to hide or to display the source here. And it's interactive, which means that if you click on the source here, it's going to open the corresponding document in the document browser here at the right place, and you can see this extract in its context. So this is the default view, but you can also display it as a table. You are going to see less of the coded segments. So you are going to see less of the coded segments, which are here, but you're going to have a lot more information displayed. And finally, there is the overview of segments view, which is a bit like the best of both. You can see both the information in a table format, and you can see the coded segment appear if you click on a segment. And of course, it's always interactive, so you can open it in the document browser and see the extract in its context. And one last thing about this window is that you can also export the selected segments with these icons. You can print them or you can export them as Word document. The first view that we've seen with all the segments, or as an Excel document for this view as a table. As you can guess, this video is just an introduction to the basic features of Maxqda. There are a lot of tools for almost every type of data, for many research projects and for many different methods. There are also interesting and rich analysis tools and visual tools, and you can also produce all sorts of reports. And there are also really interesting features for the audio and video files as well, and you can work straight from the audio and video documents. Like you can do transcriptions in Maxqda, and you can also code directly audio and video files without having to transcribe them first. But for sure we can't cover everything in a short video like this. So if you want to go further with Maxqda, I also offer more comprehensive training, workshops and consulting for projects and teams. And there is also a complete Maxqda course that is entirely online. It's a 10-hour course which is online 24/7, so you can do it at your own pace. It covers all the basics we just saw with a lot more details, of course, some more tips and practice exercise. And it really covers all the areas, features and tools in the standard version of Maxqda. So the goal is that by the end of this course, you would be able to import all kinds of data into Maxqda, to use all the analysis tools available, to adapt them to your projects, and to produce visualizations and reports to present your research results. So if you would like to know more, you can check out my website here. Well, thanks for watching and all the best with your projects.